because Chip Kelly doesn't sleep. Chip Kelly and Northwestern got a deal done. I want to say it was like 4:55 a.m. Central Time for Chip Kelly to be Northwestern's new offensive coordinator. I welcome back to college football, Chip Kelly. You got a lot of money from the Raiders for about 8 weeks of work, and now you're back.
I got a question. Don't you think the Northwestern job would have been available at like 9:15 over brunch? Yeah, I mean, like, I'm pretty. Hey, as we say in the South, that would have kept that'd keep. You didn't have to do that at 4 a.m. like a weirdo.
No, or like last night. Very odd, but whatever. How's that Pop-Tart, Godfrey? What was that? Strawberry?
It's pretty good. It was frosted cherry.
Frosted cherry. Oh. All right. Very jealous. Very jealous.
That's a tease for those who don't know.
That's a teaser. This is also audio that our producer's going to have to edit out because I'm chewing.
Back to Chip.
It's ASMR.
So we obviously saw Chip, in the league at Ohio State, do pretty well. Helped the Buckeyes go on that magical playoff run and win the national championship, and then lasted how many games in the NFL? 8, 10? I don't know. 12?
It was more than 8, but it was not a lot.
Yeah.
Was it the Urban Meyer over or the Urban Meyer under?
I believe it was over Urban Meyer, but not by much. But he got a lot of money because he was the highest paid offensive coordinator in the league at the time, and I believe they had to just pay his whole deal out.
So he really doesn't need to work, but he's chosen to work at Northwestern in the Big Ten, which is interesting. But, David, his name, Chip's name was sort of like circulated around for a few jobs, including, by the way, like if Biff, had gotten a Michigan job or something, his name was sort of circulated out there as being a possible OC at Michigan. I think that was part of Biff's sort of plan, a proposal, Biff Poggi, that he made to the Michigan administration that obviously they didn't accept. But his name has been sort of out there, and you kind of, it was pretty obvious that he wanted to get back in. And so for David Braun and them, like if you're a Northwestern fan, I'm guessing you're pretty pumped about this. And it seems like a really big hire, and you do wonder if Chip eventually, if he has enough success and things stabilize more ever in college sports, will he ever want to be a head coach again too? Is that sort of in his future at all, since he's sort of getting back in it when he really doesn't have to? Because as Andy said, he has plenty of money and he's done plenty of things in college football and beyond.
I would counter that Chip does need to work, because I think Chip is a little bit like a shark, and he's definitely afraid of not swimming. I was looking through his CV. I don't know. Well, there's a great Raiders joke in here if you want to make it. I don't know the last time he would have this lacking amount of talent in years, right? It's going to be fascinating. Northwestern, and I kind of think this is going to work in his favor. Northwestern is going to make him become a little bit more creative than he's been in a long time, if he's successful.
I don't know. So this is a Chip Kelly recruiting dig. I don't know that he had all that much talent at UCLA. He had some really good players. Zach Charbonnet was great in that offense, but he didn't recruit to the level of, say, like Jim Mora when he was at UCLA. And so I don't know that UCLA under Chip Kelly and Northwestern now are going to be all that different in terms of talent. I think so. But I will tell you, this feels like Chip Kelly's dream job, because Chip Kelly loves smart players. Like Chip Kelly, I think if you ask Chip Kelly, like what he would love to do if money didn't matter, if nothing mattered, like he'd want to be Harvard's coach. And so he loves smart players. He loves just dealing with ball and not dealing with the other BS that you have to deal with as a head coach. And so this allows him to do that. Like in this era of college football, you're an on-field assistant, but you don't have to recruit if you don't want to. So they can just have Chip Kelly be a closer for offensive players, or like portal guys come in and the quarterback comes in and Kelly's like, here's how we'd use in the offense. That's all he has to deal with. And he gets smart players. I think he's going to love this job. I really do.
I think he's going to love it, Andy, but I don't know if I love it necessarily, because I'm trying to reshape the paradigm of success and seeing what kind of moves in what areas make successful programs in this era. This is a Northwestern program where they took a ridiculous amount of money and they built a practice facility, and they took a ridiculous amount of money and they're building a new stadium. And now we're talking about this legacy name that they're hiring as an offensive mind. You know what I'm not hearing about with Northwestern? And Ross, you can tell me if I'm wrong. Not hearing about a big fat check for NIL, because last time I checked, this is still Jimmy's and Joe's, right?
Yeah.
You know, every coach that we've
not
talked
open
to,
yet, bro.
Well, prove me wrong, because I hear about spending like you're a drunk sailor all the time when it comes to Northwestern in a very 2006 type of way. We got a genius offensive mind. We're building a really pretty glass practice facility, and now we have a new stadium. That's awesome. Who's going to carry the football?
Yeah. No, you don't hear a lot about them outspending people in the NIL world like we hear about, say, another private school from another league in Nashville there, Godfrey. That seems to be doling out and competing with other big brands when it comes to paying players in the player compensation. You don't hear about that as much at Northwestern. You're right.
Yep. And I think for the good of the Big Ten, we've talked about this on the show several times. I actually just had lunch with some people from Illinois. They're here in town for the Music City Bowl. This is the middle class of the Big Ten, right? It's awesome that Chip Kelly's in there. It's going to be creative. I have no doubt that something amazing is going to be dialed up. Personnel is going to elevate this league and nothing else.
It is. And I wrote a column when they announced the last gift for the stadium. I don't even know what job I was at. I don't know if it was at SI or at the Athletic. And I was like, guys, the only way to get a better stadium is put better players in it. You can have the prettiest stadium in the world, but if you don't put good players in it, nobody cares. And if you do put good players in it, you can play in an open field and people would throw money at you. So that's really how it works. So, but I am going to withhold judgment. You guys, you seem to be down on this whole thing. You think they've spent all their money. The Ryan family probably has some more money stashed away somewhere, but the portal hasn't opened yet. We don't know. Look, everybody's tampering right now. We don't know who they're tampering with.
Yeah.
I suspect
how dare you?
They may get some good players this portal cycle. I will say, I like David Braun a lot. He has been really impressive based on what we've seen so far, because the situation he inherited was really tough. They were terrible coming out of the year that he joined this. He joins the team as the defensive coordinator in January. They're coming off a terrible season. They fire Fitzgerald right before the season starts. Braun takes over, coaches them very, very well. And this year they were such a tough out. They end up going 7-6. You get a little bit better roster with him coaching the defense, with Chip Kelly coaching the offense. That is a team that can compete in the top third of the Big Ten. You've got to get better players, but you don't have to get much better. Like, you don't have to suddenly become Ohio State. You can do this by being better than Wisconsin, by being better than Michigan State. You can do this.
Andy, that's how they built it under Fitz. I mean, was a very weak Big Ten West, taking advantage of a down Illinois, a hapless Nebraska. Like, I don't have to go through the entire division. You guys remember. No, I like Braun a lot. I think if I had to pick the best interim hire in the last 5 years, he's probably number 2 behind Harrell at East Carolina. But I think he's great. I just still think it comes down to a personnel issue in terms of taking that next, like getting out of the 6-7, 7-6. Oh God, I just did it again. 5-6 win is quagmire. Sorry, I have kids. I still think personnel wise, you got to do something else if you're talking about an 8 or 9 win team.
Well, and y'all know this, like Braun entering this season, there was pretty much an expectation that he wasn't going to be there next year. Like, and just around the industry, right? Everybody expected that job to change. They expected them to go 4-8 or something, and that job to change. And what he's done there has been, it's been pretty remarkable. And you would think that maybe they just got a lot better with this Chip hire. We'll see.
Here's their 2026 Big Ten schedule. We don't know dates or anything yet, but they play Illinois, Indiana, USC, Wisconsin at home. On the road, they play Maryland, Michigan, Nebraska, Purdue, Washington. So, like, it's Illinois, it's Wisconsin, it's Washington, it's Nebraska. Like, what do you do in those games? Because those are your swing games. Those are the teams that you have to be better than. You're probably not going to be better than Indiana. USC will be interesting because they're schedule's brutal next year. So it really will depend on where Northwestern falls in the schedule. But it's doable. It's not easy, but it's doable. You can have a good team with a schedule like that.
Hey, and to sort of further your enthusiasm, this is what I tell every have-not or structurally disadvantaged program in the power is you have to zag. You have to do something different. This is why I preach the gospel, the option. Chip Kelly's not that far off. Philosophically, yeah. I think their scheme will do something to close the gap in those games against much more talented teams. But yeah, yep. I think personnel will win those games that you sort of have to stay at that 7-8 win level.
Chip will create an offense that works with the players he has. That's what he's done historically. Everybody thinks it's just the blur offense for Morgan. It's absolutely not. The offense he was running at UCLA was completely different. What he ran with the Philadelphia Eagles was completely different. He adapts to whatever he needs to adapt to. Though
definitely
it is, but in Godfrey, I think you appreciate this too. The one constant is they will run between the tackles. When they're
Absolutely.
working, they are great between the tackles. So
he'll keep on running.
I'm excited to see this.
He's not scared.
He's arguably the most creative run game mind outside of the option tree that we've had in 30 years.
Yeah, one thing too. He should know as good as anybody the sort of the schemes and the talent in the players in the Big Ten, right? I mean, he studied it all at Ohio State, and before that UCLA for a year, maybe 2, or maybe just a year. He was at UCLA in the Big Ten, and then a year at Ohio State. So he should know everybody, even though the coaches turn over and obviously the players turn over more than ever. He should know sort of the talent and the profile of a lot of these schools.